Hello, and welcome to our very first and our very special humanity podcast. And I'm here with my special best friend and special bud, Anthony. And here myself, I am Jose. And honestly, we're here trying to test out a new thing and just kind of see where this new experiment can kind of go. And just hope to have fun just trying to see how everything goes with this. And I'll allow my good friend here to introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Anthony. Welcome to the Humanity Podcast. This is a little project we've been trying to get started for a while and trying to lift off the ground. So, this is just a small stepping stone and big things we want to do and, our big imagination that we have. Literally.
That's very true. And overall, like when it comes to our podcast, like our overall goal when it comes to it is just trying to express our ideology, express like certain thoughts we have, and at the same time kind of have or hope to get the chance to have other people's opinions or have other people's words be heard. We just kind of want to hear everyone's output
getting feedback as much as we can, and then also like using this as a platform for other people like us and our other friends, and then other people like our audience members like you guys listening to this, just for everyone to voice their opinions and have a platform where they can express themselves.
Exactly, because one thing that in my opinion, I feel like when it comes to what's going on with all social media, I feel like there's a very huge limit on self-expression and freedom of speech. Right now, we're having a huge problem with freedom of speech, and it's been
certain things you can and can't say and everything.
Man, and it's very scary. And we really need to start, opening our eyes and allowing ourselves not to be fooled by these people trying to push us down or kind of pushes away from our true, opinions and thoughts, because we all have the right to express our true, opinions,
without it being like suppressed by like other people who don't agree with it or they have their own ideas.
Right. So that's just one thing, and it's just like overall with the channel, it's just like we hope to also just get different types of content out too. Like we already have a channel
two
going.
Vlogs.
We have 2 vlogs going, and we do plan to get more content out. It's just we have quite a lot of personal things just kind of setting us back, but I feel like as things kind of fall into place, we'll get more time to really do everything we want to do with this this project, and as it comes to I guess expressing our ideology, what would you say? I'll allow my best friend here to start first, when it comes to his ideology and everything.
Well, I just feel like, everyone has a creative, has some sort of creative force in them and needs to get something out, and basically, what I feel like this world needs is something to where people can be open and free to talk about what they want to talk about. Mm-hmm. And not feel judged or so pressured or anything by society or other outside factors, and just have a platform where you can just really be yourself and be true to yourself.
All right, man. All right. Well said. I mean, honestly, when it comes to my ideology, I just feel like we're a society where we had to live by just learning every day. We're in a school of life, and every day we're taking lessons, we're learning new things, we're making mistakes, and it's just right, man. It's just something we just never grow out of. It's just, I feel like as we get older, we get wiser, and we have to really push ourselves to expand our consciousness and to have different levels of seeing things. We can't always just be one opinionated or biased.
Exactly, not so narrow-minded all the time.
I feel like us as people have to become more spiritual. I feel like we become very disconnected to our true inner being or connected to our inner being.
Yeah.
I feel like our society's become very, manufactured and consumed. You know,
That's
like
so true.
we just consume everything, and everything is just manufactured. Everyone wants to be one way. Everyone wants to look one way. Everyone wants to be the same way. It's just we had to break out of that illusion and move ourselves
Yeah.
into a different state and be in a higher living.
Exactly.
You know, like that's my ideology. I just feel like we had to be in a higher state of living. We're not at that place anymore where we're allowed to be dumb and slow. We
Right.
have all this information.
Can't be
and we
living
have
in the
all-
same loops over and over
right,
again.
right. We have all this information and technology to push us further and beyond than ever. So why allow yourself to be stuck in a loop, you know, of
Exactly.
your own illusions or your own, misfortune?
That's
You know?
true. Because it's all the mind. It's all the mind. That's why they say everything is mental, because your mind is what keeps you trapped in those cycles. And it's up to you to really build yourself to that point and heal yourself to where you can go further and
Man,
heal from
exactly.
that.
And when it comes to now, we're going to be transitioning into our topics.
Yeah.
And so we have quite a lot of topics, but we're going to start off with our, let's see.
I think
Where
we
did-
should start with music.
Yeah, we're going to start with our music, experiences and just overall experiences going out to events and just
Going to concerts and different things like that, and also our own musical journey and what we've been listening to, and also we record this on a lot of you have probably heard of BandLab. It's free, and we started I've already started a music project on there, and we eventually we want to start recording music and putting out other forms of media other than just the podcast. And
Right.
But we feel like music is one of those things that we've we bonded over so much, and we have so many different music styles and tastes that
and we just have a huge passion for
a
music.
huge passion and a huge imagination for it too.
Right.
We can come up with different things all the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, when it comes to just overall our journey, when it comes to us going to shows, we don't really have much time. I'd say we honestly started going to shows around
In 2020, right
Yeah,
when the
around-
pandemic,
yeah,
right towards the end of the pandemic year almost.
yeah, it was towards that time, and before that we
I've been to concerts here and there, but not anything crazy or
Right,
together like that.
yeah, we obviously before going to concerts we've heard a lot of music. We've been into music. Our biggest thing was rap before. As youngsters, I'd say the biggest thing we used to listen to is definitely
Old
rap.
school rap and shit, yeah.
And we definitely also liked a lot of Michael Jackson. That was that
A lot
was
of pop and shit,
yeah,
man.
that was our biggest scene. And our music was very small. And our knowledge of music was small at
Yeah.
that time. But
We only knew a
as-
lot of the bigger artists and stuff then.
exactly right. And as we slowly kind of got older, me and my friend, we kind of just tapped into different types of genre of music and started
right around high school.
yeah, it was around high school, middle school, where we kind of started finding different underground
stuff,
rappers, or
SoundCloud
underground-
rappers,
Right.
Suicide Boys and
Right, 'cause,
XXX Tentacion and
because
Little Peep, dude, Booyah, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
man.
and it's funny because I remember the first time I introduced you to the underground scene too with rappers was when we were tripping one night. And we
were listening to Suicide
Boys.
Dude, Behold a Pale Horse. That was the very
Yeah.
first song I ever heard.
I remember
It was when the Kill Yourself sagas were coming out too on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
They were releasing them weekly, bro.
And I was like, dude, I had to put you on these guys.
Yeah.
These guys are so good.
And then you showed me Puya's music video for
fuck.
his famous song, Void.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was it, dude. Yeah, cause from there on, after that kind of that moment, we kind of honestly just started going into a bunch of different rappers and different people we've never
Found out
even-
about Tara Reid, bro, and then fucking Fat Nick,
we
bro,
got
like Snot,
you know,
and then we start getting into people like Ski Mask who now become like big names and shit. Juice WRLD before he died, bro. Like we were into that a little bit.
And it was just like it was very like diverse at that time, and at the same time too. Anthony too, he was listening to a lot of rock.
I was listening to like heavy metal. Like I was like a headbanger kid.
I remember at that time
during my high school, I would always wear my Carnifex are a big like deathcore band from California, and I'd always wear that hoodie every single day to school, and everywhere I went, that Carnifex hoodie, and I still wear it, dude. That shit. That was one of my first like big like. Intimate, like, small concerts. Because I went to that with my cousin Michael, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude, remember
that, dude.
That was in the summer, like, of my junior year of high school. I went to that, dude. It was Carnifex, Oceano, Crown Magnetar, and Prison. That was the other one.
Yeah.
It was those 4 bands, and dude, they fucking killed it, bro. We were like right up front by the stage. I remember I was headbanging so hard I accidentally hit my head on the amplifier speaker. There on the stage. This shit was hilarious.
Crazy. Yeah, cause like I know one thing as I remember is just like how you got really deep into heavy metal.
Yeah.
And then
now I started getting into black metal too, Mayhem and all that,
dude. And from there, honestly, like
I just really liked heavy music with like a clean sound, Even like black metal, even though it has like a lot of distortion, a lot of like old school shit. I like the old school sounds. I like a lot of different variety of it, dude.
Right, because honestly, as it came to our concerts, I'd say like our very first concert or show together was when we went
Suicide
to
Boys.
Grid Life, yeah. And Grid Life
that was summer of 2020.
It was around July 2021.
Oh yeah, it was 2021.
Yeah, and that was our very first. It was like our first festival, our first camping festival and music festival. But
Dude,
it had like a twist too, because it was also like a car show and a car.
Yeah, and they had all the cars drifting around while the artists were playing on stage and everything. That was so cool.
It was a really good show because like.
We got to see Lupe Fiasco, Young Gravy. We got to see
the lineup was perfect for that type of thing, because like. Honestly, I think it was their first year ever doing that, honestly.
Here in Colorado.
Their first year ever here in Colorado, and it was honestly awesome, like, because, like, from the camping to, like, the staff to, like...
And then the people there, dude. Like, we met some chill-ass people from Chicago. We met people that lived out in Boulder, too, that we were hanging out with. Dude, and this one guy, he was supposed to have his car in, remember, and he made us burgers that night.
Oh, yeah,
that was so cool,
the car driver, that dude was really cool. And, like, it was just an overall really cool experience. And I remember that during that festival, that time, we even said it from this moment and day on, we're going to be going to more concerts and more festivals.
And we have a lot more since then.
I mean, I know... Unfortunately, I know my buddy hasn't been able to really go to much festivals
because of like money problems and shit.
But as far as like when it comes to me going to festivals, I've been very thankful and lucky to go to EDC. I went to Global Dance Festival and
Okeechobee back in March,
and then I went again to Grid Life last year as well. So I went to a good few festivals last year, and honestly, they're all a blast. And I hope to definitely go again to a Global Dance Festival, which is coming up again here soon.
Especially with Dead Mouse being there, dude, we gotta go.
And then I'm definitely trying to plan on going to EDC again this year. And then as far as anything else, just mainly trying to see DJs coming out here to Denver. We have LS Dream coming to Denver.
Yeah, we got Getter coming back in June.
Yeah, we have Getter, and then we got...
And we're going to try and vlog all this, too, so we can upload it on the YouTube channel with the vlog so that you guys can actually see, like, and watch with us as we're experiencing this stuff.
Right, exactly. And, as we hopefully get better as we record and get better as this interaction type of thing, we can kind of hopefully... start getting interactions with other people, like maybe start talking with other people, getting other people,
have other guests on this podcast.
You know what I mean? Just try to, have some fun with it. Try to do like mini interviews with people.
We can literally take the microphone to concerts and stuff, dude.
Right, man. Just like ask people questions, have little fun interviews. Just stuff like that. Just having fun.
That'd be so much fun.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like as far as just like us going to shows, it's been really fun. just last night we went to go see a John Summit.
John Summit, yeah.
And that was a really fun fucking show. We got there at 7, and after that we left at around I'd say 1 in the morning. But honestly, it was a very long show and a very crazy show. I'd say it was quite hectic, honestly.
Dude, there was a lot of people, yo. It's just a lot of people like, partying. It was definitely like a party type atmosphere.
Yeah, like I was telling Anthony, was like it really felt like a disco type of atmosphere where
like it reminds us of old school disco in a way,
right? Because I remember at one point you said this guy was giving you like old school, like 90s vibe or something.
Yeah, like 70s
Kyle Walker,
vibes.
I think it was
yeah,
Kyle
dude, because he was doing the lights and stuff, dude. That was so sick, yo.
Yeah. And I don't know, it was like it was our very first kind of like
a house concert like
our
that.
house concert, because we've been to a heavy metal concert, we've been to a rock.
Well, we've been to EDM concert, but it wasn't like we went to an actual festival though, where it was all different types of electronic music.
Alright, but when it comes to just like one genre or like just one based on like one certain, because like obviously we've been to like different like when we saw Getter is is very headbanging like crazy.
Yeah.
But like this is our like a first time where it was just all like dance music, it was just pure.
That's true. It's just like all just like
every DJ,
just pure energy, just dance.
Like the whole time, like from the moment we got there, it's just dancing, and it's just like, man, like the music, the bass, everything just makes you just,
dude. And it was making the whole place shake. I realized like when we were up top there, bro, the whole shit, even the floor like below us was like vibrating, bro, on the walls and shit. Dude, they made that whole place like shake, bro.
And I mean, what blew me away the most too is the way they had all the speakers set up. Like all the speakers were like,
I know, they had like a whole like rows up at the top, yo.
Dude, that shit was insane, dude. Like they made sure the sound was heard in every corner of that fucking building.
And then and then one thing I noticed, I was saying it to you last night, was like it seemed like these artists last night were like trying to make you live inside the music with the visuals and the music combined, because like with the visuals they were doing these crazy light patterns, like they were making the lights spin and everything, they were like making the lasers dance and shit, and like it was some of the best lighting I've ever seen for a concert, like ever.
In a sense, like they really made you like feel
like you were living inside the music almost,
right? Like it was just like a
living music video,
right? Because like from the moment you got in there, you get like this very it's very it's dark and very like what is it, like personal. So like cause obviously there's the dance floor, but at the same time, if you don't want to be on the dance floor, there's plenty of other areas to kind of be dancing and kind of just standing and watching, so that's what was very cool, is that you can kind of get away from all the people, or you could also just be
it was like, one of the unique experience, and like you can move around anywhere in the place. You can go from your seats to the dance floor to all the way up in the balconies and everything. Like they just give you so much freedom on where you can go in there,
right? Because you get on, there was just so much good views, like, but overall though, that was just a very great experience, man. Like for something like for a show like that, we honestly did not expect everything we did see, like the pyrotechnics, the lasers.
Oh man, the fire that was shitting out, that was so sick.
Just everything about it was really well put together by the production team. Honestly, like you can tell they really planned everything out to make that a really good show.
Yeah.
Because that was something else, man. I honestly didn't expect it to be as wild as that.
I know, dude. And it wasn't even over by the time we left, yo. There was at least another hour of music.
Yeah, because, like, he had gone, like, through a lot of his big songs, but he
still had a lot more, yo. And he was just going and going, yo.
Yeah. And tonight he's going to be at Red Rocks, and, I'm sure that's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
And, other than that, like, another highlight of like last year was when me and Anthony went to go see Mayhem.
Oh, Mayhem.
To go see Spite.
And that was so sick.
That was just, it was a crazy,
especially with Mayhem, like with Mayhem, they fucking did it up, yo.
Yeah.
They had the skulls. I like how they did like different eras of the band. They started with their new music, and then they did a whole nother set for like their middle era of music. Then a whole nother set for like when they first started, and they did that to end the show. I remember they had all the
so
props,
cool, yeah.
and they would change their wardrobe every time they had the robes on and everything.
Dude, I really liked the way they really like put an act. It wasn't
That was like true showmanship.
Yeah, dude. Because everyone on the stage, like the drummer was fucking killing it.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
the
Hellhammer, yo, he was going,
guitarist.
dude,
Yeah,
and he had the big ass drum set too, yeah.
dude. And then when it came to see Spy fucking was awesome.
Oh man, they
too.
shook the house. Yeah, they're like the brutal type of like deathcore, just in your face. Yeah,
they were like, from what we saw, like because we were like up in the front.
Yeah,
like,
we were like up close.
Like,
yeah.
You could feel the music. You could see everything from behind. Yeah. It was just insane because it was just like you were so close to like the artists and everything, dude.
And that's what I like about smaller venues too, especially like the Summit and like out in the Springs, like the Black Sheep too. It's like when you're in a smaller venue like that and you're closer to like the artists and the music, dude, like you really get to like experience and feel it, bro. It's like it's nothing like any other concert. Like outdoor concerts is a bit different because you're more like spaced out a bit, and like especially at bigger venues like the First Bank Center last night, like you're a little bit further away. But like up close like that, dude, you really feel it, dude. You really feel it.
And that's just like the biggest thing. Is just like the difference between like the shows and like the concerts and everything. You know, just kind of not the concerts. I mean, just like every venue has like its own atmosphere and like
and the artist too that's taking up that venue.
Because like a big difference was like, for example, like we saw Puya at the Summit, which was awesome. It was a good show. It was a good venue because we were very in the front, and you know it got very cool because it was packed. You know, there was good mosh pit. There was a good, you know, he had a good lineup of people that came up before him.
And we actually got to meet him too. That was so cool.
Definitely, like we got to talk to him in person and actually shake hands with him, which was fucking awesome.
Him and then Lou.
And Lou baby, that was awesome. And so, but my example, and then we saw him this year. Again at the Fillmore though, and that was
another smaller venue, but it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it's just a little bit bigger, but it's definitely a different atmosphere like that, that venue compared to the Summit. Like it's the same artist but a different venue, and it's like it's crazy to see like the difference, you know, from different venues, because like, you know, like the craziness at the smaller venues,
the
Fillmore was insane,
dude. Because it's a bigger crowd too at the Fillmore, because you have more space on that floor.
And what was crazy about, like, I'm not sure the first year we saw him he sold out, but I know the second time
it was close to selling out.
The second time we saw him though was for sure sold out.
Yeah,
and it was insane because like he also happened to
filmed a music video too, and they released it. Yeah,
and so that was definitely a really cool experience. So I don't know, it's definitely something cool when you get to, and then the same thing like when you go outside, like that outside venue, like when we were at Grid Life, or when we went to Red Rocks, like venues like that, like where you're outside, it's like a whole different feeling too, because like it just feels so much more like I guess blown out, because it's like there's no walls, there's nothing like where the sound is vibrating.
It's just like free ranging almost a little bit.
Dude, and it's just like insane because you can just like be anywhere in any spot and you're gonna hear that music. And and it's just like it's awesome when you're like in a place like that outside. Because I don't know, I kind of prefer an outside venue, or like being outside than being inside, you know, because it gets a lot hectic inside because it's more hotter and it gets very packed, and it's like more like people kind of pushing to get in the front.
And then when you're outside, you have more room, more space to breathe and stuff, and like really enjoy it. Like
exactly, you know, and it just kind of gives it like a different feeling, you know. And so like I don't know, when it comes to us in our music experiences, we definitely had like quite a lot last year, and you know we hope to have a bunch this year, you know, hopefully seeing how things
Global
go.
Dance Festival, dude, that's a big one. And then EDC hopefully.
Right. So, I mean, we have hopes, you know, we're really trying to kind of push ourselves to kind of just have more fun experiences, you know, or just, you know, being outside, you know, going to see, beautiful parts of Colorado, because we're in here in Colorado, the beautiful,
Right.
colorful
We're in the
Colorado.
Rocky Mountains, yo. Shoot.
So I mean, honestly, I feel like as far as like things to do or see, there's plenty of things to do and see here in Colorado. And I know as like we venture out more in here and there, like I'm sure, we'll see a lot of beautiful things. Like one thing I saw recently that's very beautiful is the hanging lakes. I don't know if
Hanging
you ever,
lakes.
I don't know
What?
if you heard
What's
of hanging
that?
lakes. It's
No.
like a place here in Colorado. It's like 3 hours away from here, but dude, it's like a very beautiful hike. It's like 3 hours long,
What?
but it's
Yo.
like just beautiful lakes and like mountain area and scenery.
Dude, that'd be sick, yo. We're gonna have to do that.
Oh, I was just telling my girlfriend that we should go do something like that. Make it like a whole day thing, where we
Dude,
get up
that'd be
early.
sick, dude. And we could vlog it too, bro. Yeah.
See, cause like I don't know, man. It's very, like I guess, it's very interesting when you push yourself to just see different like places like that, even though they have their distances. It's just like seeing something new or seeing something different. It's just very.
And then also in that type of state, like you get to really connect with nature out there on hikes like that.
Yeah, and that's just one thing I feel like, other than just like, going to concerts and stuff like that. That's different. Like another thing. It's just kind of, going out and hiking or just going out and
Just being active of some sort.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like I've been going to like different like the park we took you and your girlfriend to when you guys came over for my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I've been going there playing basketball a lot. I've also been going to Carmel playing at the basketball courts over there. I've been doing a lot of shit over there, Yeah, just walking around and shit. Just like, I don't know. I like being outside a lot more. And so, especially now that the weather's getting a little nicer besides the rain. I mean,
I don't know, the rain has been a little hectic, but thankfully it seems like for the most part, like the sunny days and the warmer days are coming. Summer's falling.
yeah, it's already May, getting into June soon. Shit.
Right? Cause I don't know. I'm excited, to kind of see like how hot it gets this summer.
Yeah.
But on other topics, we kind of wanted to go on just let's see.
We should probably talk about a spiritual topic.
Spiritual?
Uh-huh.
So, man, when it comes to, like, let's say, alright, so, I mean, where do you want to start off with that?
With our spiritual talk.
So I feel like as we should, I guess, like, begin is, like, like, I guess, our spirituality started, or like something, or like where you feel like you began, tapping into it.
I think when I started tapping into it was like probably on our first trip, bro. Because before that, I was never really spiritual or into any like things about like the soul and stuff. Like, never really thought about like religion or I never really took any of that seriously until I took my first acid trip. And I think that first like eye-opening experience like really like shifted me into like, I don't know, it just really shifted me into like finding out more about myself and like becoming the best version of myself almost. Because I feel like that after I had that ego death, dude, we were listening. I remember we did the Sugar Cubes. We were listening to Dark Side of the Moon on vinyl. I remember I just shut my eyes, dude, and I was gone, yo. Like, I remember I saw like a pyramid, bro, and like it was just like glowing and shit, bro. And like, it was one of the most beautiful images I ever seen, yo. And it's like, ever since I just felt like, like there's more to this reality than just what's on the surface level.
Alright, well said, yo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for sure. Like, after that first acid trip we had, it was definitely like a lot different, from there on. Cause honestly, like before the acid trip, you weren't very like spiritual or like
Yeah, I was very like into any type of thing like that.
Yeah, like he used to.
I was like an
very,
atheist almost.
Yeah,
like I didn't believe in anything, yo.
And so like, what really blew me away was just like how his transformation was when he came to him like evolving his his ideology and your mindset towards things, because
Yeah.
you went from seeing it one sided or seeing things from only one way to being like a lot more open
Yeah, I
minded.
used to be like so dark and morbid minded, bro. And I mean, I still am to like sometimes, but like it's just like I don't know. It feels like now's the time to step into that healing phase and become more like peaceful and like just overall set ourselves up for like better futures.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
Because you can't just be stuck in one mindset your whole life, and you can't be so narrow-minded, or else you're not gonna develop or evolve like you should, like a normal human being.
right?
Yeah.
And like the biggest thing too is just like honestly understanding that we're not something that's excuse my smoking, but just like realizing that we're bigger than just like what people have brought us to believe. We're more like technical, we're more advanced, we're more intelligent than we really believe we are. And the problem is, we've been so
We've been so conditioned and so dumbed down by society, dude.
right.
Yeah.
But like as far as like my like when it comes to like spirituality and my beginnings, for me it all started like just like Anthony, like you said, just like tripping. Like his
Yeah.
before, like when I first started taking acid, at first I was just taking acid because it was fun. I didn't think it was anything very
Right.
serious. I just thought it was something entertaining. But as I started getting deeper into like tripping and like just like having myself, like self realizations and like having like those like moments where like you just tap into like a deep part of like meditating when you're tripping, and then you just have like this insane like self revolution. And then as like I slowly like tripped more and more, it's just like it started hitting me that like the spiritual path was the right path.
Exactly.
Because like as you follow as you follow the spiritual path, it's not the same as a religion. The spiritual path is all on you, on building yourself and
Yeah.
building your reality.
Instead of going off what other people have taught you, that's not necessarily the correct way to do things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like as I put myself more and more and I learn more and more, it's been a real big eye opener, and it's definitely pushed me to reach higher levels of consciousness and understanding, which I've never had before. And excuse us, we're kind of smokers over here.
Smoking, toking, and talking.
Right. And so pretty much as that process happens, you kind of start getting in tune with yourself and your higher intentions and your higher goals, and you start living a life of no suffering.
Yeah.
And that's where we all want to.
It's almost like being reborn again.
Right.
Yeah.
You just want to reach that point of where like you can say like this won't hurt me no more, this doesn't bother me anymore, this is where I want to be, and this is how it will be for life.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting how like these psychedelics have taught us like how to change our mindsets like this, because how they found out about like the brainwave science and stuff like that is through people taking acid and how it affects the brain. That's why we have a lot more like brain studies now and stuff like that. Is because of stuff like that.
It was done already when I handed it to him.
Oh, it's not. That was out.
Yeah, it was done by the time I gave it to him. But you're right, man. It's just like I feel like as we progress more as a humanity or like a civilization, we'll realize the potential of psychedelics, and like we already have like seen the progress of psychedelics through the evolution of laws, like becoming more acceptable to it.
Exactly.
Now we have laws where they're
like in Denver. I mean, shrooms are decriminalized.
Exactly.
And then here soon, but by 2024, it's gonna be fully legal,
right
for medical purposes. But
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the bigger step is to reach a state of just like liberation for psychedelics, because
Yeah.
they've been so demonized and so, pushed away because of like
Because of
their
religion
misunderstanding,
and like, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean that's why I feel like as like the spiritual path is just like we all kind of fall into it at some point of our life,
That's
and
true.
it's just like no matter how hard we try to avoid it, like either you're gonna get pushed to the spiritual path or you're gonna fall into the path of religion.
Yeah.
And it just all depends which one is gonna suit you best. If you feel like
Right.
religion is gonna suit you better, then that's your belief.
Because it's not to like bash religion or anything. Because
Right.
like being religious is also a spiritual path.
Right.
Because there is truth found in all religions, but the thing is like some people feel more comfortable sticking with one thing and not going to another. It's all about like going outside the comfort zone, and when people are ready for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man. And that's why I feel like, as far as us as a civilization too, we've kind of really gotten to that point where like we're more spiritual than ever, because religion has kind of just fallen apart year by year, and it's a little sad and depressing, but it's just like at the same time a lot of these religions that we have are built upon misbelief and
Yeah.
like misinformation.
And like we were talking about yesterday with like the Catholic Church and all that, how they took books out of the Bible because it didn't fit with the narrative and what they believed out of the Bible.
Exactly, right.
And so all that knowledge that's out there for that religion is still out there, but it's not officially part of the religion. Like the Book of Enoch, where it talks about the aliens in Earth and all that. I mean, that was a book in the original Bible, and the Catholic Church took it out.
And it's been proven too upon time and time that society had destroyed and lost and destroyed plenty of information about our past. And it's just
Like
there's so
like
much,
when the Shaolin Temple got burned down.
exactly,
Yeah,
or
they
those,
they
all those
lost all
massive
the
libraries.
medicines and libraries full of just knowledge, dude, because all they do is collect knowledge. And when it burned down and everything, during that, I forgot which dynasty it was, but they were like destroying and going to war against the monks and everything. And they basically destroyed all this knowledge that had been collected up for thousands and thousands of years. And now their mission right now is just trying to bring all that knowledge back and basically rebuild the whole library again so that it can be accessed for all humans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely like the one thing that's very, difficult for our society is that we really never know, or will never know, like what our true reality of the past was, because of like how much
Yeah.
information was lost and how much information we really don't know.
Yeah, and especially like with the pyramids and stuff, because that also tells a big part of our history as human beings and all that. And like some parts of the pyramids we can't even go in because it's too dangerous. The things will literally collapse, dude. Like, and you're gonna end up destroying it. So we can't even really fully explore what's already here on Earth. Like, and we haven't even hit the bottom of our ocean floor yet. We don't even know what's at the bottom of the ocean.
That's
So-
so true, man.
And
That's
we
very true.
don't even know all the species under the water. We still don't know enough about our own planet and ourselves yet. And it's
That's
crazy because just all this is lost to time and just things that have happened in the past, yeah.
That's true, and at the same time, I feel like the biggest problem is like there's a lot of misinformation about a lot of things that we know are true, but people twist the truth, like they say, and I feel like that's definitely what's going on right now. It's just like a lot of misinformation about a lot of things that are not even factual.
Right.
And it's just like it's kind of odd, but I feel like we'll get to a point where like a lot of the things we'll know are factual, because we'll be intelligent enough to know what's factual and what's not.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because we're so advanced to the point where we should already know this, and our brains are basically computers. So eventually we're gonna get to a point where we can discern like what's real from not real. like completely without even having to question it at all.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I feel like, as far as just us pushing like information, I feel like the biggest thing as information that keeps growing is understanding that we have to have like more, what is it, like more certified, like
More certified understanding and intelligence
well,
on
not
it.
like more certified people giving out like actual information.
That's true. Reliable.
Yeah, more reliable sources, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like as social media keeps getting bigger, you see the impact of like
Yeah, and
like
especially with the
information
rise of
articles,
AI
like,
too and everything.
Yeah, right. And dude, that's another thing that's another topic that I kind of want to tap into eventually. Is
We can
more,
transition into that a bit. Yep.
yeah. Well, it kind of falls into like spirituality too, because like with this new AI system and the AI shit going on, dude, it's like we're hitting a new evolution in our own
We're making
reality,
living
man.
technology now.
Yeah, dude, and it's like we're at a point where like we have something so unbelievably like intelligent, like that we don't really know
It's
where
truly
gonna go
capable
at.
of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and that's what's so scary, is that we've never been at that point where like we had something that's gonna be like
That advanced.
right, like above our control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's literally a fruit from the creation of humanity. Like literally, like this AI is the child of humanity. It's like the next step in evolution almost.
Right.
And then once we fully integrate the human and the AI, dude, we're gonna become like a half species almost. We're gonna become
Right.
like a half like robot, like a cyborg almost.
Right,
In a way.
because like the scariest thing that scared me recently too, or that I just saw, was the idea of how because you know how there's AI for pretty much like everything now. So they're saying now, since there's AI for about pretty much anything now, that by 2025 about 130 million jobs will be lost.
Oh shit.
And when you think about that,
and
is
so many
very-
people are going to be out of work, no money. How is the economy going to flow? Like, you have to have something there to either replace it, or you have to secure the right as human beings, because you can't just throw out like what we already have. It has to be a gradual and a natural change.
Yeah, that's very true.
And when that change does happen, we need to have other places in that like in place for it, so that we can shift over and start like finding other opportunities for human beings where we can grow and go above the AI still, and we can even expand and evolve ourselves further.
That's right, man. Cause like I mean, I feel like as like policies change and like things change, I feel like
Human rights
Uh,
needs to be number one.
right, exactly. Cause like the fact that your job can be lost within minutes or days just because an AI
It gets
can do
replaced
better
by
than
like
you.
a text or a phone,
Right.
like an automated like my mom's last job, dude. Her last job, bro, that she got laid off from, was replaced by a text. Literally, they replaced it with just a little like text message from the computer.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like
Another big example too is when you go to grocery stores.
yeah, and then
When
you see
now
like
you see-
self checkouts a lot more than actual like cashiers. Yeah.
Dude, it's ridiculous now that you go to grocery stores, and you have to wait in long ass lines because they have more people at a self checkout area than they do fucking people cashiering.
That's true.
It's
And
ridiculous.
it's like with
man.
McDonald's now, like the one out in
yeah.
Denver that's all electronic. They have no employees there. Yeah.
That's another thing too. So it's a really weird turn we're taking, and a really interesting turn we're taking, because
I just think there needs to be like a perfect balance. Is what it needs to be.
right.
And, like there can't be one over the other. It has to be a
and it
perfect
can't even.
balance.
And the other thing too, it can't be something like over money. It's always about like, oh, we had to lay off people so we can make more money. It can't.
Right.
It can't be like, oh, we're gonna replace these people with machines
With
just so we can
machines,
make
yeah.
more money, or make start losing
Because
less
that's
money
just a
to pay
selfish way
them.
of thinking for those companies.
Right.
And then that's what's going to lead them to go out of business eventually.
Exactly, man. And I feel like that's definitely like the biggest problem that's we're leading into is that all these businesses think it's cheaper and better to just have a damn machine taking your order or doing a simple
Like
job
the
like that.
like at this out in Walmart at the springs in the springs, dude, they got these robots. They don't even have people mopping and sweeping the floors anymore. They're these little machines that do, and they put little name tags on them too and everything, and they just go around and they clean the floors and everything at Walmart. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That just shows you, man. I don't know, like, and that's why, like, I feel like with all this, like, AI too, like, we're gonna step into, like, a different, like,
It's gonna be like iRobot almost, dude, with Will Smith. Yeah.
we're gonna tap into, like, a different type of consciousness now.
Yeah.
Like, this is not, like
Our thoughts are
human
gonna be
consciousness.
digital.
It's, like, a more, like a digital consciousness now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's gonna be more, you know,
Like a Matrix almost.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what I mean. More generated than actual, you know,
Than actual
like-
real physical, like actual true things in this base reality.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I feel like the whole turn with the freaking AI is very scary because it's something that just it isn't something we need necessarily, but it's something that I know will push us to different
Yeah.
heights and levels of human
We just gotta
race,
find a
but-
perfect balance and not let it go too out of control. You know.
Right. Because another thing I was hearing too, like that I feel worried about is like artists, because they're saying that like all this AI art and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna,
Have you
like-
seen where like they've made full on Terrence McKenna and Alan Watts podcasts that are completely AI. It's AI voices them. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's super scary, dude. Like
Yeah.
another thing I heard too is this AI song, like that was like XXX singing, like another song,
What?
like where they used his voice and the AI generated a song with his voice.
No way.
Yeah, it was super creepy, dude. Cause like it really sounded
It
like
sounded
him.
like him, huh?
Yeah, and it's just weird, dude. I don't know. And then the same thing with art, cause
Especially
they're
like his
saying
hack,
that-
because now that this is out there, imagine what hackers can do and what these people can release and stuff. That's not necessarily real. Yeah,
dude.
and they just
exactly.
market it as real. Dude, that's scary.
Cause like another thing too was it's just like how I heard they have this really big art contest here in Colorado, and they had a bunch of artists run up, but one of them was like an AI artist.
Really?
And I guess pretty much the winner of the whole like show
Yeah.
was the person that made the art with the AI.
See that
And
I don't
that
know. I
was-
feel like that's cheating a
And that
little
was
bit.
the first time ever that they ever had someone with the AI generated picture win.
I mean, I do like that idea, but the
But-
thing is, you can't rely on the technology to do the full creative process. You have to, as the human being, do the
Right.
creative process and then use the technology to help you create the art, but don't let the art just do it for you and then take credit for that art.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's what like a lot of people were kind of like disappointed about, was just like
I would
how
consider
there's
that
people
cheating.
literally
You know,
like making people like art with like their hands and like actual artistry, but then they have
Right.
someone with a computer just make art, and it's just, they call it done. You know, done.
right.
You know, and
That's
it's
insane.
It's insane. You know, it really makes you think like what kind of possibilities there is coming up with all this stuff with
Right.
the AI.
That's
So-
crazy. Have you heard of Chaos GPT?
No, what's that?
That's the one where they asked it to basically put an end to humanity and like end the world and all that. And all it's been able to do, it's not like a serious thing, but they given this AI the task to basically destroy humanity and take over the world and all that. It's called Chaos GPT. It's a chat like AI. And all it's been able to do, it came out with like 2 or 3 tweets, a video, And then, like, basically it's done a bunch of research on Google how to do different things. And then it's also, like, it tried to get help from another AI to help it complete its goal and, like, actually, you know, fully put an end to the human race. But the other AI, since it's not programmed to do that, it didn't help the AI. So now this AI is going on its own, and it's come out with like different theories on like how to like get rid of humans completely and stuff like that. And it's like it's kind of scary, bro.
No,
I don't know
right.
if this thing gets advanced enough, and these things are like they don't. It's a thing like you can't turn it off or nothing. This is a thing that they're just gonna actually let go. Yeah, and they're just gonna let it do its own free thing. So if it does come up with a way, and this technology will eventually get there, imagine what that can mean for us. And we already have our own humans on that, dude. That's scary.
That's scary. I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, it's called
dude.
Chaos GPT. Look it up.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's nuts, cause like when you really think about it, like
who in their
biggest
right
story-
mind would want to like just kill people like that, dude? That's like sick in the head, dude. And they
biggest
create
thing
the
is,
AI
like, why
to do that.
That thing what Elon Musk said is that we need to put an end to the whole process of like making these more updated and more better and stronger because we don't understand the capacity of them yet.
That's true.
And I understand why Elon Musk called an end to it because like it's just ridiculous. You know, there's no reason why we need to keep pushing all this technology for what.
Right.
You know?
There's no use. It's just we're just like for what? Literally.
No, like I know. I feel like obviously, the biggest reason they're obviously pushing the AI is for military purposes.
Yeah.
You know, that's
And just for technology in general.
Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. It's a creepy thing, but it's something that us as a human, like a society, like we should all like be aware of because if we keep pushing this idea of like AI just being like something else, like we can just push over and just be like, oh, it's whatever.
Yeah.
No, we can't because we'll get to a point where AI is gonna be so unbelievably, like hard to discern,
Like hard to
what's
maintain.
true or,
Yeah.
like just discern what's true or not.
Well, it's
from
also going to be
reality,
hard
you
to
know?
control it and maintain it too,
Yeah.
because it's going to go to a point where we aren't going to be able to control it anymore, and it's going to have a mind of its own, literally.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
So I don't
It's going to come to a point where we aren't able to stop the AI.
And so I don't know, man. That's why when it comes to the AI and just like ourselves as a society, as like we're in a very high state of like, cause we're all like very spiritual and like we're pushing ourselves to be in a higher state, but at the same time we have another half of society just
Consumed by technology.
consumed by technology and trying to like evolve more digitally than like
Than
more-
physically.
yeah. And I don't know, it's a scary reality because it's like they always say, there's a spiritual war going on every day, and it's a war that's never gonna end.
And that also kind of like, and speaking of like spiritual wars and stuff like that, I saw like there's this one dude talking about the spiritual war on like food and stuff, like like all these pigs and these animals, like the cows and stuff, to make beef and like all like this ham and everything. They kill these animals, and then imagine how these animals feel that they're gonna be eaten after they're dead. They're just gonna be eaten like that. Imagine if that was us as humans and they did that to us. Like, knowing that we're going to be eaten by something else or someone else when we die. Then, like, I feel like that has a big part to do with spirituality, too, because, like, it basically, like, the souls of these animals and stuff, because these animals have spirits, too. It's not just us humans. Like, these animals are so advanced and stuff, like, they can think for themselves, and they have their own ways of thinking, not necessarily like us, but they have their own forms of it. And like they have their own like types of feelings and all that. Imagine how they'd feel knowing that they're just going in, they're so scared when they go into the slaughterhouse and everything. They're just like, what's going on? They're so confused. They get slaughtered and then they're going to be eaten. And like that type of energy, how everything carries energy. Imagine what the food in our packages that we're getting every day and stuff is like contained with and stuff, just like the souls of like. That's why like I see like the points like people that go vegan and vegetarian and stuff like that, like as much as like I'm not at that point yet because like obviously like due to money problems and all that, like we have to rely on like food from animals still and stuff like that. But when you eventually get to that higher point of like your spiritual evolution, you eventually need to start feeding yourself healthier and be more conscious of what you're putting into your body. Because especially if you're putting like a dead animal into your body and it like it's was angry or something like that, it's going to carry that energy into the food and into your stomach, and that's going to affect your whole system and your whole body.
That's very true. Yeah. I mean, that's why like they say when it comes to like our food and what we eat, it's very important what we're like choosing to eat, because like they said, our food affects our mood.
Yeah.
So if you're someone that's obviously eating a lot of sugar all the time, you're someone that's always going to be very hyper and tired all the time.
And then like if you're eating meats and stuff all the time, you're gonna gain all this muscle mass or all this like meat on your body, but then you're not gonna have anything to balance it out and really like have a true like I don't know, like a healthy regimen of food.
That's true. I mean, that's why it's very important that we learn the value of just like the source of like our energy and like what gets our like well, like what gives us the best source of energy. Because I feel like everyone has a different way of getting their energy, and it's just like we all find different ways to, or we all find our best way to get up out of bed. We find our best ways to get active. It's just all depends on like your personal like
your personal preference.
And like what suits you best. So I don't know, I feel like that's one thing we all kind of had to realize at some point. It's just like we can't stay stuck in seeing one way on like I guess I'd say food, because like I feel like the food industry and all that, it's very corrupt too, like and that's one thing I remember hearing too was this Coca-Cola whistleblower. He was talking about how the Coca-Cola people don't care about their customers, and that they just want their customers to get sick, and that like there's a reason why the soda is so toxic,
and they're one of the number one soda like beverages in the world.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And it's like they have so much money that he said that they can just buy off people. They can literally tell. They have enough money to make people say it's actually healthy then.
Yeah, it's like with the tobacco industry for years and years on ends, until like when they found out the studies that it was causing cancer. They knew it was causing cancer beforehand, and they were paying the government, and they were like going hand in hand to like say like, oh no, it's okay to smoke. Like no, this won't happen, and to just mask all that and cover it all up. But nowadays, you're actually seeing the signs like warning this could give you lung cancer, or like warnings and labels and stuff. That's what should be like put in place. Like
and that's what I heard too, is that that should be put in place for food, for anything that
anything consumable in your body
that's gonna like make you sick. It should have like a say so, like, hey, like too much of this will give you this, or too much consumption of that will make you sick.
Exactly.
So it's just like us as a society, we need to stop allowing these major companies or major corporations.
It's like brainwashing almost.
Right, like they're just conditioning our society to just be like, oh, this is all right to drink and eat. Drink and just keep making yourself sick and sick. It's not our fault, it's your fault.
Right.
And it's just like that's the problem with our society, is that we're not putting the fault or the blame to the people that are actually
and it's sickening too, because you even see it in the marketing. Like for Pepsi and stuff, you see like some healthy dude with like a fucking 6-pack drinking like a Pepsi or a Coke on a commercial. Like people in real life drinking sodas aren't even like that, dude.
Exactly.
Like they're all like oh man, it's just like it's so weird how manipulative these companies can be, and how they still sell so much, yo.
Exactly, dude. That's why I feel like it's very, like, demonizing and, like, very, I guess, just sickening, because, like, we shouldn't be at this point of, like, we shouldn't be at this low point of just allowing everything to just be.
That's
You know,
true.
like everyone has just become so conditioned to, or no, just like so
So dull.
so dumb.
To
Well, yeah, dull
yeah.
and dumbed down to just accept anything now,
Yeah.
and it's
Just
just like
accept it for what it is and not question it.
instead of fighting back or questioning it, it's
Yeah.
just everyone's just like, okay, well, this is what it is, and that's how it is.
Right, just because someone says so doesn't mean like that's why we have to self-experiment with these things and like the best thing to do is go forth in it. But if it is something that's going to cause us to be sick, we should know that beforehand before even consuming it.
Right, and
Yeah.
I mean that's why, and the same thing like you said, dude. Like the animals too, when it comes to them, like and all that, like their consciousness, dude. Like it's very true, dude. Like
Yeah.
as far as them,
Like you hear about like spirit animals and stuff, like jaguars and like mountains and like mountain lions and stuff. They all have their own spirits, and like the Native Americans, they worship these animals and stuff, and yet they're being killed for food, for our own entertainment and pleasure, basically.
yeah, because I mean, when you really come down to think about it, you're like these animals just they sense, they know,
Yeah,
like they're not done. You know
exactly.
what I mean? So I just feel like us as a society, we need to like push ourselves to be more, smarter and wiser about
Hmm.
where we're getting our food. Because we can't always depend on animals to give us our food.
Exactly.
Especially
That's
like,
why plants and stuff, like eating salads and stuff, like that's always a good point. Like, just plant based foods. I mean, that's probably one of the healthiest ways.
yeah, I do. Because
Yeah.
like as far as you see our society growing and growing year by year, dude. There's just no way we're gonna have a source of food for everyone.
I know,
And as
especially
far as like the homeless
if you think
keeps
about like the
growing, dude.
ratio between the animals and humans, dude, don't you think like these cows and these chickens and all that would have gone extinct by now with how many people need to be fed and how many portions are out there? Like you gotta at some point think like they're either doing something to clone the meals or like clone the like like genetic manipulation. They already have that. And they're doing it to these animals and basically reproducing them at a maximum rate, and it's like
You're right.
just never ending, and it's not natural at
That's
all.
what's going on. Because that's definitely what's going on. Because they need to keep up with this.
And keep up with the demand, and then as more people are born, and then the more like the population grows here on Earth, we're just gonna have so many more people and not enough food. That's why we have so many people starving and stuff, dude. Because there's not enough food for everyone. I mean, when there's people with a lot of money that can be helping. They would rather invest their time in something else instead of giving it back to humanity and giving it to everyone so that it can really make a difference,
That's true, man. Because like I don't think that there isn't enough food. It's that we're not distributing.
Right, we're
all
not
this
getting
food, 'cause
distributing
we
it
have
the right
mass
way.
production of food. We mass produce food. So there should be enough food for everybody. But the
Right.
problem is we're not dividing it equally as we
Yeah.
should for everyone. And that's why there's so many starving states and then so many starving people, because there's just not, like, food shouldn't be as expensive as it is, and at the same
Exactly.
time food shouldn't be so like hard to attain, like,
That's true.
you know
Like the things you have to go through to get food, like just in general,
you know what I mean. Exactly, dude. It's a mission, especially nowadays, like to go buy food or go to the grocery stores. It's insanely hard because like you go in there knowing you're going to spend hundreds of dollars now.
And for
then
such little food to feed you for only so long.
hmm
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like us as a society definitely gotta, find like a different sense of like how we're gonna get our food and like how we're gonna just distribute it within all of us, because
Yeah.
there's just such a high.
Because the people with money, they should be helping with distributing this food. Like that would really help. Like there's no reason you should have someone like, say like Elon Musk or like Jeff Bezos or Donald Trump with like millions and billions of dollars, but yet you see the guy right next to you on the street or the starving kid in a third world country with nothing.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
it's
Stuff like
how
that.
fair is that, yo?
Yeah, dude. I don't know. That's why we're in a very twisted society, and it's just like hopefully, as like our society hopefully grows into a higher like frequency, we learn to succeed and like help every single soul on this planet, because it's
Yeah.
not about just one person. It's all about everyone. We're a
Exactly.
community.
Humanity in general.
It's a community, man.
Yeah.
We're here to be here for one another and like be there for each other, you know.
Exactly. And that's one. Yeah, that's like one reason we really wanted to do this podcast too. Is like we really wanted to open up people's minds and start thinking about this type of stuff and really like make a change and a shift in humanity. You know, that's why like I feel like this will definitely make a difference in a lot of people's lives. You know, as
You're
more
right.
people get traction to this and everything.
I mean, that's why I mean like we just feel like it's a good thing to just put the word out, even if you feel like it's not gonna be heard or
Yeah.
you know listened to by a lot of people. It's just good to have it out there because what if you know anyone stumbles upon it or you know needs to hear something like this or needs to hear something like
Exactly.
that, and it will push them to that next level that they need to reach or be at.
Yeah.
And it's just like us as a human society should be helping each other and one another to
It's like
get
a
to
live
higher
therapy
level.
podcast almost for all of humanity.
Yeah, man. So I mean, that's just definitely like, you know, some thoughts. And as far as topics, I think those. As far as my bad. I'd say that was everything. You know, like for just
For our first
for our
podcast.
first podcast, I just wanted to kind of express some of our ideology or some of our opinions.
Yeah.
And just kind of like give you a well-rounded like view of what we think and like how we do.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
hopefully, you know, attract like-minded people to also listen to this and give their input on it, and you know, we'll listen and see what works, what doesn't work, and then take that and move that as we go along on our creative journey.
Right, because we definitely want to learn and like see how much we can really, you know, change with this podcast. You know, kind of
It's all about growing.
right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we both have this, you know, this creative fire in us, but it's just the limitation of certain things in our personal lives. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, as we get better in tune with everything, I know
We'll find a perfect balance between it all. Yeah.
we'll fall into our path and you know we'll succeed and like we'll get better at you know making these podcasts and talking,
Yeah.
you know, making our videos better, maybe better
And
editing.
releasing music too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we started working on music too, and
yeah, we definitely want to work with music, you know, have fun with music. And then you know like when it comes to our uploading schedule, we just want to try to upload as much as you know we can and try to kind of have a continuous like uploading schedule, you know,
yeah,
because you know we do enjoy this and we do enjoy you know seeing where it could go, you know.
yeah,
And so I'd say for our last bit, I'd say for shout outs, honestly, don't have much social media. I know my buddy here has.
I mean, I got my own like gaming channel. I got Ghostface Gaming on Twitch and on YouTube, and then I mean, eventually we're gonna be putting out actual music. I already put together my first single, and like we plan on collaborating and putting out a full mixtape hopefully sometime by like the end of this year, beginning of next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for my hopefully here I'll start. We do play a lot of Call of Duty. Ranked is our thing, and if you don't, sometimes you'll see him streaming, and I'm gonna try streaming too. So that Twitch name is Grumpy Monkey 303.
Yeah.
And if you guys wanna catch a stream and watch me, my buddy, and my homie Ruben, you know, kicking some butt on Call of Duty,
Yeah.
you know, catches on there. And then as far as like other social medias, we'll be hopefully making more platforms as we kind of get a better idea. Of,
Yeah.
like,
Eventually we'll get like we'll do like shorts or something like that, like a TikTok or something, and eventually we'll also have a video portion to these podcasts instead of just the audio. Yeah.
We kind of want to just keep evolving this podcast and kind of making it more entertaining for one another, and hopefully you know get you know some video of us too, like kind of fitting into like kind of hopefully have like a green screen type of thing.
Yeah. Hopefully have like a whole studio, dude. That'd be sick.
So yeah, I mean, and then other than that, like for our future podcast, I'd say like we'll kind of have like the same concept like we had, you know, just kind of going off of topics, you know, just trying to see where it goes. And
then we'll eventually have guests too to talk about their opinions and
Yeah.
what they think of these topics too.
Awesome. So we hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and hope you hear it all out and just kind of enjoy every little bit.
Yeah, thank you for listening. If you took the time to listen all the way through, whether you just listened to part of it or, you know, anything you do to support really helps. So we are very grateful for anything.
Let us know if you like anything, you dislike anything, and you know, we hope to have you listen on to our next one. And much love to everyone who listens.
Yeah.